Very good afternoon. Let me begin by sharing with you the current situation in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Yesterday marked the completion of 400 days since India's illegal and unilateral actions of 5 August 2019. In complete disregard of its international legal and moral obligations as a member of the international community, India has continued its brutal suppression, deliberate state terrorism, inhuman military siege, unprecedented communication blockade, unacceptable media blackout, and unabated restrictions on all forms of freedom in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The Kashmiri leadership and thousands of Kashmiris remain incarcerated on frivolous charges. Many of those detained are kept at undisclosed places away from their families. The Indian occupation forces continue extrajudicial killings of innocent Kashmiris in fake encounters and cordon and search operations. In the month of August alone, 20 more Kashmiris, including 2 young boys and a woman, were martyred by the Indian occupation forces. Voices from around the world continue to condemn the inhuman oppression of Kashmiri people. Human Rights Watch, in its latest statement of 4 September, has once again called upon the Indian authorities to prohibit its security forces from using shotguns firing metal pellets in IIOJK. The statement stressed that the use of metal pellets, firearms, and ammunition are in violation of international law, international covenant on civil and political rights, and the UN basic principles on the use of force and firearm. It further underlined that Indian leaders who claim that their policies are improving the lives of Kashmiris cannot disregard the security forces are maiming, blinding, and killing people. On September 8, ambassadors of OIC Contact Group on Jammu and Kashmir in Geneva virtually met the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet. The group discussed with the UN High Commissioner the worsening situation in IIOJK and conveyed serious concerns on the grave human rights situation there. The group also urged the High Commissioner to continue monitoring and reporting on human rights situation in IIOJK. Separately, Foreign Secretary Suhail Mahmood briefed yesterday and this morning the OIC and EU ambassadors on the current situation and worsening human rights situation in IIOJK. In attempts to divert world attention from its egregious human rights violations, India continues to resort to indiscriminate and unprovoked firing along the line of control, targeting innocent civilians. This year alone, India has committed 2,199 ceasefire violations, resulting in 17 shahadats and serious injuries to 171 civilians, including women and children. As you are aware, in an amusing demonstration of out-of-place hubris, India has asked the United Nations Security Council to remove Jammu and Kashmir dispute from the Council's agenda. The ill-conceived Indian move ahead of the 75th session of UN General Assembly later this month is another desperate and pointless attempt by the BJP regime to find an escape from international condemnation. India-Pakistan question is one of the oldest items on the agenda of the United Nations Security Council. The outstanding question remains on the Security Council's agenda since India has never implemented the Security Council resolutions concerning the dispute of Jammu and Kashmir. By denying Kashmiris their inherent and inalienable right to self-determination as enshrined in the UNSC resolutions, India is continuing to violate its international obligations. This is not the first time that India has tried to delude itself and the international community about the currency of Jammu and Kashmir dispute at the UNSC. It may be recalled that after the seventh round of foreign secretary level talks between Pakistan and India held in Islamabad in January 1994, the Indian Foreign Secretary at that time claimed that the UNSC resolutions on Jammu and Kashmir had become inapplicable. Contradicting the Indian claim, the spokesperson of the UN Secretary General reiterated the solemnity, effectiveness, and continuity over time of the said resolutions. The United Nations remains seized of the matter. Since 5 August 2019, the UNSC has discussed the Jammu and Kashmir dispute 3 times. These 3 consultations have reaffirmed the disputed nature of Jammu and Kashmir and the Council's role in the dispute. The convening of these consultations directly repudiated the Indian untenable position that their actions were an internal matter. The UN Secretary General, in his statement of 8 August 2019, made it clear that the position of the United Nations on this region, that is Jammu and Kashmir, is governed by the Charter of the United Nations and applicable Security Council resolutions. Subsequently, during his visit to Pakistan in February 2020, the Secretary General again expressed deep concerns at heightened tensions over the disputed region of Jammu and Kashmir and called for India to respect human rights and fundamental freedoms. India must accept the fact that India-Pakistan question will remain on the agenda of the UN Security Council till the resolution of Jammu and Kashmir dispute as per the United Nations Security Council resolutions. The only way India can get the Jammu and Kashmir dispute off the agenda of the Security Council resolution is by letting the Kashmiris exercise their inalienable right to self-determination through a free and impartial plebiscite under the UN auspices. The international community must play its role in making India comply with its obligations under international law, UN Charter, and the relevant United Nations Security Council resolutions. As you are aware, Foreign Minister Makhdoom Shah Mahmood Qureshi is currently in Moscow to attend the meeting of the SCO Council of Foreign Ministers. In his address to the CFM this morning, Foreign Minister Qureshi shared Pakistan's perspective on regional cooperation for promoting peace, security, connectivity, and socio-economic development in the region. Pakistan considered SCO an important organization that has immense potential to enhance regional cooperation. Pakistan has been actively participating and contributing to the deliberations of SCO on important regional and international issues. On the sidelines of SCO CFM, Foreign Minister Qureshi also held bilateral meetings with his counterparts from other SCO member states. Yesterday, Foreign Minister met with the Foreign Minister of the Republic of Tajikistan. Both sides expressed satisfaction at the development of bilateral cooperation and reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening it further. The two foreign ministers agreed that the Joint Ministerial Commission and the multiple joint working groups in the area of trade, investment, transport, industry, agriculture, and tourism are useful platforms to achieve the desired results. As the Foreign Minister is in Moscow, we will be sharing further details of his meetings and engagements in due course. Foreign Secretary Suhail Mahmood held a video call with the British Minister of State for South Asia and the Commonwealth, Lord Tariq Ahmed. They exchange views on matters relating to bilateral cooperation, regional situation, and multilateral issues. Let me also share with you the latest incident at China-India border. Pakistan has been repeatedly emphasizing that India's expansionist and unilateral actions, particularly since 5 August 2019, have been imperiling regional peace and security. The latest situation at the China-India border areas violates the understanding between the two countries and the agreements. Pakistan is concerned that these continuous Indian actions are imperiling regional peace and are a threat to its neighbors. We believe that it is imperative that China-India border issues are resolved in line with the understandings and the bilateral agreements through established mechanism, and peace and tranquility is maintained in the region. I thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to take any questions.